Just one more hour until reinforcements, aka me, arrive to save the day. But until then, keep your eyes on the highway and keep on trucking with Jimmy Mack on Road Gang Radio, y'all.
Hey guys, don't forget to head on over to RadioNemo.com, scroll to the bottom of that page, and subscribe. You'll be getting something in your mailbox if you do. Don't worry, we won't be asking you for any money, nor does a subscription cost you any money, by the way.
You can send me your money, though.
You can send Dre your money, by the way. And big thanks to Trucker Boaston who sent us money. We're going to give you an opportunity to give us some money in a more formalized form later on in the month or in the early part of next month, but we'll get to that later. Speaking of money, you know who's always money, huh, Phone Master Dre?
Ooh, he's always on the money as well.
On the money. Robert Braswell, the executive director of the ATA's Technology and Maintenance Council, is here and on the scene for another edition of that ongoing epic saga known as Tech Talk with TMC. Hey, Robert, good morning. How was your New Year's?
Hey, doing great, Jimmy Mack. Great New Year's, great holidays. Good to take a few weeks off, a little bit of a break, get with the family and whatnot. It was real good.
We have not missed a beat, as a matter of fact. You just kind of, as one of it's kind of like, what is it? Taxes, weather, and Braswell. We don't like the first two. We love the third, and we're glad to have you back. What you got on the docket for us today on Tech Talk?
Well, today we are pleased to welcome back to the program Fred Kelley, who's America's Research and Development Director for the Prysmian Group. You might know them better by their Prestonite brand of products. Fred is a longtime TMC member. He's very active also in SAE International and other international standards organizations, where he serves in various leadership roles on technical committees that deal with wiring and electrical issues. At TMC, he's a recipient of our highest honor. That's a Silver Spark Plug. And we're pleased he can join us today to talk about some of the latest developments in electrical wiring, maintenance, and repair, and some things the listening audience needs to know about these topics. But before we get started, as you know, each week we like to make a special offer available to our listeners. This week it's our TMC Preventive Maintenance Inspection Manual for technicians, offering it for the special price of just $25 plus shipping and handling. You can get it by calling our customer service line toll-free at 1-866-821-3468. Just ask for the PMI manual, mention the Radio Nemo, and you can get it for that special price. Also, if you're an owner-operator or you're a small fleet, you've got 100 or fewer power units, we would love to have you as a member of the Technology and Maintenance Council. You can join us by calling that same toll-free number at the special discounted price of just $150. Call us at 1-866-821-3468, or you can get us on the web at tmc.trucking.org. And, of course, at the top of the program, we also remind you that any TMC recommended practices we discuss reflect the consensus of our members. We offer them as recommendations only, and everyone must first determine for themselves if they are safe and appropriate for their operation. Please remember that TMC doesn't endorse any product, person, or service, and the opinions expressed on the show do.
Hey guys, welcome back to Road Gang Radio. What's going on over there, Phone Master Dre? What is happening?
Man, it seems that I think Robert had a little... Hey, Robert, you there?
Morning, Fred.
We lost you there for
Good
Robert.
morning, Robert. How are you today, sir?
No, Robert is not. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We got you back. We got you both back. There we go.
The dark too short, but again, welcome to the program, Fred. First of all, I'd like to give you a little bit of congratulations. I understand that you're getting a recognition from the Wire and Cable Manufacturers Alliance, huh?
Yeah, fantastic news I received over the holidays. You work hard in your career. You try to do your best, and when you're recognized by your peers, it's always a special moment. And I got nominated for the 2026 Distinguished Career Award, and I was selected to receive that award in 2026. So it's quite a moment. It's humbling. A huge honor for me. It's an industry that I worked in almost 38 years, and I love it. And it's just quite a moment for me. So I appreciate it.
Well deserved, and I think it's just more evidence that on this topic, from whence you speak. And it's very pleased to talk about some of the different things that we've touched on before on Tech Talk with TMC with you, and maybe some new things as well. Let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about, well, first of all, another thing too is you're celebrating your 30th year of membership at SAE International, huh?
Yes, absolutely. It's an incredible milestone. I know I'm not alone. I know you have also been with SAE a long time, Robert. But I reached 30 years this year, and super excited. I've always been very, very involved in the volunteer work, and so it's a great milestone. SAE is a group that really works together to come up with the best solutions and to promote the industry to help people. So it's been a great 30 years.
Let's talk a little bit about what SAE does and why it's important to wiring in specific, because a lot of the standards that come out into the trucking industry, they emanate from the committees that you work on.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, the SAE history goes back to 1905 when the group first got together. It was originally called the Society of Automobile Engineers and later became the Society of Automotive Engineers. Really, the first folks that were involved, people, very recognizable, someone like Henry Ford, and others that maybe not as recognizable, people like Andrew Riker. But Andrew developed one of the first electric vehicles. We talk about electric vehicles today, but that technology goes back such a long time. And that work really spun into standardization and the work of standards. The first standards were written in the early 1910s, but were extremely important to creating standard parts and allowing the industry to share that work and really have much more efficiency and availability. Down the road, when we fast forward, the SAE standards also added cables. The very first standard for general cables in vehicles really came out in 1954. SAE released the SAE J558, really focusing on kind of making the parts standard and fitting and working in all kinds of vehicles. But it was a huge step forward to allow people to have common parts, really designed to work in automotive applications. So the foundation really, was a simple thing, but it was so critical to making everything work properly in vehicles. That standard existed from 1954 until 1975, and really focused on just a handful of cable types. Really, again, just focusing on the fit and form and function. And what they learned during that time was it wasn't enough. They were only thermoplastic cables back then, which means if they got warm enough, the insulation would melt. We know that our application in trucking is harsh at times. And so it really demanded more. In 1975, it was a very important year for the developments of cables. There were a couple of standards that we know well were published and released. The SAE J1127 for low-voltage battery cables, and the SAE J1128 for primary cable released. And amazingly enough, Robert, here we are 50 years later. Those documents are still in use, and they work well for trucks.
And there's some other standards that, for example, TMC develops in concert with the ones that come out of SAE International that help fleets specify these different kinds of wiring harnesses, cables, starter cables, etc., for particular applications, because it's very application dependent, right? I mean, you just can't
that's right.
You can't just say J1127. There's a little bit more to it than that, because it all depends on what you're doing in your operation.
That absolutely, Robert, you're correct. it gives you the foundation, but it really requires more. TMC has always been very in tune with the needs of the trucks, and the people and experts that come together working on those really have done a great job over the years. And it's super important to get it right. It gives you options within the SAE specs, but you got to pick the right ones and know how to use them. TMC released RP 110. This is a document that was originally intended for helping spec the truck, really select the correct SAE cables from the possible list to make sure that the product is right when you get it and right the first time, so that you have a good product to start with. And then later, TMC wrote another document, RP 166, really focusing on repair. So when it comes time to maintain and repair the truck, again, it gives you that guidance that you need to be able to select the right SAE cables to repair the truck. And so, no question, the TMC documents and very specific to the application and drive us to the right cables.
There are 6 different types specified in our J1127, but 2 of them are recommended for trucking use. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. The documents were written, originally to serve not just trucks, but for light-duty cars and for marine vehicles, a variety of things. And so you need to select the right cables that were really intended for applications in trucks. And the 2 that are within the SAE J1127 that are recommended by TMC, RP 110 and also RP 166, is the first one is called type SGX. And though that code basically stands for starter ground, general purpose, and cross-linked insulated cable. And that cross-link insulation is really important. It was designed with trucking in mind. This is an insulation that once it's built and cured, it won't melt again. And that's such an important feature, because we know that our application isn't always so easy. And so we need it to perform when things are working well and when things are not working well. And so we can get to where we got to go and get that repair and maintenance done. It's interesting. You look at the things that we're focused on in the SAE J1127, and in the beginning it was all about fit and form and function. But later we got into the performance and durability. We needed it to be the right size for reliable sealing, for sure. But we needed the right performance too to make sure that it worked well. And so SGX was one of those types. The other one was the type SGR, and this one is intended also for trucking. It's a starter ground general purpose thermoset elastomer. And what's different about this one is it's more flexible. Sometimes these cables are big and difficult to route and package. And so the more flexible designs really come in handy for those types of applications to allow you to get it where it needs to be and keep it out of harm's way so that it continues to work really, hopefully, for the whole life of the truck. But those 2 types are the ones that we focus on. We like them because they're thick wall thicknesses for the insulation and durable, and they've got the right amount of copper inside to give us great performance from resistance and the resulting voltage drop. So it works really well.
That's for the battery cables that are more heavy gauge, but the primary wiring that you use in a truck is just as important, and there are standards for that too, both at SAE and TMC. Let's talk a little bit about that and why that's important.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah, the smaller cables fall under SAE J1128, and these are the primary wire sizes that are used. These are the ones that are typically in that range of about 20 gauge up to about 8 gauge. It goes down to 22. It's the smallest, but typically in trucking we don't recommend normally less than about 18. But there are 3 different types of cables that are in SAE J1128 that are recommended by RP 110 and TMC RP 166. The one that's probably the most common that we recommend and use throughout the vehicle is type GXL. This is the general purpose cross-linked polyolefin insulated cable. Again, this common theme is that cross-linked. It's designed so that once it's made, it doesn't melt. And so it works really well in the vehicle. Very durable, very fluid resistant, and provides all of the things that we'd like to see. And then 2 other similar constructions or types that are within SAE J1128 is type TXL, which is the thin wall cross-linked polyolefin, and then SXL. This is the special purpose cross-linked polyolefin. All 3 of those deliver that extra level of protection and performance, so they won't melt even when given harsh environment. But yet they're used in these applications because they provide all of the things that we want to see and all of the things that we need. One of the things that was critical in the development of the SAE cables for trucking was excellent performance and temperatures. Here we are. We're in January. The weather's getting harsh. These cables are designed to work down to negative 40 Celsius. Not all cables can do that, and it's very common that plastic cables won't do that. And so selecting the proper designed SAE cable recommended by your TMC RPs is super important for that.
You're listening to Tech Talk with TMC. We have Fred Kelley here from the Prysmian Group. You might know them better by their Prestonite brand of products. We're talking about wiring standards, wiring repair and maintenance practices. We've been talking about the standards that go into making sure you get a quality wire, but unless you maintain that wire quality during the maintenance and repair phase of a vehicle's life, you're really shortchanging yourself, because you just can't take a roll of speaker wire and fix these systems for a whole lot of reasons, particularly given the fact that these wires now carry data in addition to power. Isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely. It's getting more and more challenging within the vehicles. We've got power cables, and we also have data and communications cables as well. So there are SAE specs for all of them. And it's so important to make sure you pick the right one. The TMC RPs certainly provide an enormous amount of guidance, and it's super helpful in making sure you choose the right wire.
So what are some of the things you would recommend that the listening audience, people who are either maintainers or they're owner-operators, people that own equipment, what should they know about wiring and wiring harness maintenance and repair in order to ensure they don't get stranded on the side of the road, particularly here, like in this winter driving season, when everybody's, worried about batteries not being up to snuff, not enough charge in the battery. And really, a lot of the time, it's not necessarily the battery. It is the voltage drop due to high resistance, probably caused by corrosion, or maybe it could be that the battery cables aren't tight, for example. But, it all feeds into that wiring selection when it comes time to make repairs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you need to choose the right wire. There's no question. And if you make changes to the truck, if you put a larger alternator in or you make changes, it's very normal that you need to make the proper changes to the cables as well. And so it's something to pay close attention to. The getting it right the first time is so important. It prevents unforeseen problems. It gives you that long-term durability and performance. But no question, maintenance is critical. Preventive maintenance is the key to long-term durability, and so the RPs give you that guidance in terms of which cables to choose and how to select them. When it comes to things like voltage drop, getting the right size correct is super important. Whether you're delivering high currents through the vehicle or just trying to make sure you've got enough voltage to activate the component, having the right size cable is critical. But, you can get that right and still have trouble. So it's something you have to maintain and keep an eye on. This time of year, we encounter so much challenge from corrosion. So this is a time to be more vigilant, looking for the telltale signs of corrosion, and you can measure the voltage. You can measure the voltage drop. You can look at the conditions of the cables. Really, focusing on using your eyes to guide you. If something doesn't look right, then it's probably something that needs to be dug into to prevent a breakdown down the road. But getting it right is really something that can happen on purpose. We have a variety of things that we recommend when you choose the electrical cables. The first step is always you're not alone. You've got the TMC recommended practices to help you. The great guidance and information to give you a good start, and it starts with the specking. Getting the truck right. RP 110 again gives you that information for specking the cables correctly. RP 166 gives you that information for repair. And next, we always recommend using the SAE certified cables. They were designed to live in the truck. They provide the performance that we're looking for. Besides, the low temperature performance, they give you long-term durability at the rated temperature. They're designed for temperature excursions. So if something doesn't work right and things get hot, it's still going to get you where you got to go. And if there's a fuse that's going to blow or a circuit breaker is going to activate, things are going to get real hot in a short period of time. So they're designed to live in those types of overload conditions. So getting it right is absolutely critical, and the RPs give you that guidance for sure.
I'm going to ask you this question. We get this sometimes from fleets and so forth. We know generally that you don't want to go to a lighter gauge wire away from whatever the original spec is. Is there a downside to going to a heavier gauge wire, let's say with battery cables?
I'm sorry, Robert, you broke up a little. Could you say the question one more time?
Again, so we hear this quite a bit. We're not supposed to go to a lighter gauge wire from the original spec on a truck. Because we're worried about voltage drop and so forth. Is there any concern about going to a heavier gauge wire from the original spec?
Well, we always recommend replacing the cable with the same wire gauge size. It was designed that way. It's probably best to stay that way. But if that size is not available and you're looking to make a change, you need to go larger. You don't want to go smaller because they were designed by size to deliver a certain amount of current. And if you use a smaller size cable, then you can have a problem. That cable can get extremely hot and possibly fail. So it's super important to go at least the same size or larger. Now, you're right, Robert. There are times probably when going larger is not helpful, may not work as well. So, really the same size cable is always best. But in most power applications, you could go larger and still be okay. It's just something that really needs to be focused on. It's something that is super important. Not only is it the current, but it's also the resistance. And that resistance, because the voltage and the resistance and the current all go hand in hand. Ohm's law is going to determine the voltage drop. And if you use a smaller cable, you may not have enough voltage at the end of the cable where you need it to actually operate the device that's connected to the cable. So it's critical to get it right, for sure.
We've got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. Let's very quickly just kind of summarize what will be going on at TMC's 2026 annual meeting in March 16th to the 19th. I know there's a number of wire-related task forces that will be meeting there, both for TMC and SAE.
Yes, we've got a really great meeting coming up. It's our 70th year, TMC, so what a great milestone. TMC will be getting together, and we have a task force day, which is a great time to get involved. I focus a lot of my time on task force day, where we write and maintain and update recommended practices. We've got a couple of great ones that we're working on right now. TMC RP 137 for the anti-lock electrical supply from the tractor. And also at TMC RP 141, the trailer ABS power supply requirements. Both of these will be part of the discussion as we're trying to help the fleets have a better tool to use when they're looking at the health of their equipment and understanding if we're good to go or if maintenance is required. So certainly you're invited to come and participate. Everybody is welcome. So please put it on your calendar. We'll be getting together March 16th to the 19th in the Music City Center there in Nashville. So it's a great time to network and get together with people.
Fred, it's been great having you on the program. Our time is just about up. I'd just like to congratulate you once again for receiving, or what you will receive very shortly, I guess it's in April, the Wire and Cable Manufacturers Alliance Distinguished Career Award. Definitely a big honor, and looking forward to seeing you again in Nashville, Tennessee for TMC's 2026 annual meeting. But until then, this is Robert Braswell, Tech Talk with TMC. We're going to turn it back over to Jimmy Mack there in the studios in New Orleans.
Hey, man. By the way, Robert, I don't know if you know this, over here in New Orleans, yesterday was the first day of King Cake. Everybody else kind of takes a deep breath after Christmas, and this damn city starts gearing up for Mardi Gras. So it's good to have a little stability in the form of Tech Talk, kind of taking us down the road. What do you got planned coming up for next week?
Next week, we're going to be talking about air system maintenance, facts and falsehoods with Brian Screeton from Bendix on Tech Talk with TMC.
Thank you, Robert, and have the best of days. We'll talk to you on the other side.